Welcome to Realms of Peril and Glory, an all-new actual play podcast.
There are guided tours once a week. Come on, Brennan.
How about you filthy timepiece?
RPG is home to hilarious stories.
The thing that kicks off a really good tale is,
when they take their tops off.
Sorry?
When you're reading, like, don't worry.
And thrilling adventures.
There's bad guys, there's an ogre. Probably best if you stay here. Sorry, I'll be back soon.
Why am I tied up?
That was your sibling, not me. Bye.
Each season is an all-new actual play story told collaboratively at the table, featuring guest players from the Magnus Archives.
I remember being in the water, and that was awful, and now I'm not in the water, and that's much better.
Wooden overcoats.
I am a snowman. I have one job, and that is to stand in place. I was doing that very well.
Yes, and she might come back 9 times more powerful with lots of food and kippers.
We fix space junk.
On the surface, you might look different, but you're very, very similar inside. And I can vouch for that.
And more.
What I am about to tell you stays in this room. Got it?
You don't happen to know where there's like secret plans about meat and smoothies?
Ducks? Did you say ducks? Did you say ducks? Did you say duck?
You can find Realms of Peril and Glory wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're gonna have a good laugh, then we're gonna possibly cry, and then we'll grab dinner.
Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role-players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. My name's Matt Boothman, and I'm your compere for this Backstage episode from the current main house production. I am joined by the cast of that production. Let's remind ourselves who they are.
Hi, my name is Vicky, and I play Renko the Flake.
I'm Strat, I play Brier the Monstrous.
Hi, I'm Chris Darkey, and I play Cameron the Wronged.
I'm Helen Stratton, I play Melody the Constructed.
And we've completed another production.
Woohoo! Yay! Well done us!
Mm-hmm. And you know what that means?
Admin!
XP!
Yeah, the two things we're most excited about.
It is time to ask ourselves some end-of-session questions and hopefully gain some experience for doing it. Because actually, we had some low rolls early in that adventure, but there weren't too many experience points gained from rolling low this time.
Nope.
So, question number 1. Did we conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
We did, I believe, yes. The sort of goal was make sure the hunt does not happen at this particular time. The hunt is not completely destroyed, but you definitely put it off for the time being, which was the goal. So, that's 1 yes. Did we save somebody from certain death or worse?
Yes. At least 2 people.
And the nymph.
Oh, and Mrs. McGrew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a couple of hunters, Brier and Melody. Plus, yes, Mrs. McGrew was gonna get marked, and also was about to burn up as well.
Yeah, I think so.
If not for Renko's quick thinking.
And the nymph that I've marked.
Brooke, would have got hunted as well. And presumably, while you were preparing, the Outrider was probably out there throwing blood all over Brier's forest friends.
And also, I think...
And anybody else who was secretly possessed by the fire demon as well.
And I think I technically saved the centaur from certain death. And then Ernie.
I think you probably did.
So basically everyone in the game but me and Cam.
I was splattered as well, so I could have been done.
Yeah, maybe you could. It was just me that was totally fine.
Yeah.
So that is 2 yeses. Did we learn something new and important about the world of Vigil?
Oh boy, what didn't we learn?
I think so.
Revelation upon revelation.
Goodness me.
Too much.
Ghoul stuff. We learn about the Sealy Court.
Yeah. The hunt in and of itself.
Yeah.
The Department of Emissions schemes.
Real screwing up back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ernie and Cam's relationship, that was a thing that like not all of us knew. Well, I suppose that wasn't world, right? It's something we learned about one of the hunters.
Yep. Great. So that's 3 yeses. And did we learn anything new and important about any of the hunters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the confirmation that Ernie was the cause, like the chief of the group that released the ghouls. I think that wasn't ever really confirmed. We knew he was involved. We never really knew that he was
actually responsible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also we sort of learned, we don't have the full details of this yet, but there is like a link between Cameron and this special ghoul as well.
And we also found out, that Melody was a kleptomaniac.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was about to mention the treasure. Yeah, I was about to mention the treasure.
I don't know how important that is.
I think that is new and important. You have a hoard of gold somewhere.
Yeah. Your 5-finger discount has from churches specifically.
I mean, I loved it.
It could be a resource to call upon, couldn't it?
Right, it nearly was.
I'm content to call that a yes. Because, I mean, 3 to 4 is the same result anyway. 3 to 4 yeses, everybody mark 2 experience.
In.
Where does that put everybody? Has anybody
I need to level up.
Oh, nice.
I am 1 off leveling up.
Same.
I'm 1 short.
Cool. So we have Brier, Melody, and Renko will all advance after the next 1 XP that they take, and Cam gets to level up or take an improvement right now. If you know what you're taking, let us know. But if you want time to decide, we're not going to press you.
Just don't forget before you play the next game.
Yeah.
That you're owed something.
I don't know the other playbooks well enough, so I think I need to look at the other playbooks to find a thingamy-bob.
Yeah. Have you already taken 2 new wronged?
No, I've only got 1 new wronged.
Okay, so that's an option, but then other playbooks are also fun.
Yeah, I think there's not much there that I think... Maybe the +1 to kick some ass would be good, but I seem to do quite well with +1 anyway, so I don't know if I don't know, so that's possibly tools meta might be it. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I might just up my tough by 1. Oh, maybe I'll do that. That sounds quite good.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my tough up.
Smack people.
Sweet. So that's our admin and XP out of the way. Let's just chat about the session.
Yeah. Well, first off, Matt, just want to say a big thank you for not only rearranging the session about 3 times so that I could do it, but just like planning a whole session really for Cameron to like have his moment, and it was awesome. So I really appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, I try to make sure that these sessions have something for everybody that's in them, but obviously I'm leaning more on different people's backstory and some different ones. Fine. So it was like I start with who's got stuff in the background that I can bring out. And so, for this one, it was quite Cam heavy because it's tied into his backstory, but then think about how will we bring other people into that. So with this enemy that is marking supernatural people, obviously that's going to give Melody a stake in the adventure.
That was great.
Ernie has a Department of Emissions connection that's going to bring Renko in and so on.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed getting to interact with Ernie. Like being cut off from the agency, it feels like it is a nice opportunity to have a connection with somebody who is in it, because that's a different side of Renko that we don't like. I didn't get to play with in playtime.
And I'm really pleased we got to lean very heavily on Renko's suspicious mind.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it felt really good, and it felt natural to be like, yeah, she's calling bullshit on this one.
Yeah, it's quite... Because it's quite a challenge to play a supporting character who has stuff to hide.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I'm going to put somebody in the story who has something to hide is so that you can find it out at some point. So it's always a challenge to work out how much are they going to give away now. Yeah. I still want to give you enough to work with. So it's really nice to be able to just look you in the eye and say, yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah. And then but it's good for me to be able to then decide what to do with that. And sometimes I'm like, okay, then in which case I'm going to push that further, or sometimes I'm just going to say, okay, banking that one for later, where I can, either bring that up in some way or...
Yeah, they don't have to know that you know.
No, exactly, yeah.
Was Ernie actually scared of Cameron? Is that why he kept saying, "Don't tell him, don't get him involved"? Or was it just was he trying to protect him? Like, especially at the end there, what's Ernie's motivations?
Guilt.
Now, do you think? Right.
Yeah. Ernie knows that his involvement in that project got Cameron's family killed.
Yeah.
And, he took Cameron under his wing out of guilt at that.
Yeah, true.
He doesn't want me to tell you. Like, he'd said, "Don't whatever you do, you can't tell Cameron the truth." So I think that's him not wanting.
He didn't want Cam to know that,
he's so ashamed
that it was his fault.
Yeah, right.
And also, I think a little bit of self-preservationist move of like he knows that you could destroy him if you wanted to. Like, I think he knows you have that in you now.
Yes, he knows what he
he's
trained you.
he knows exactly what you're capable of.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, he doesn't want you aimed at him.
And now you are.
Yeah, he better not come round Sheridan anytime soon.
Unless Gwyn can convince you otherwise.
True.
Well,
Gwyn.
exactly.
The owl in the bucket moment was incredible.
Inspired. Yes.
Love it.
Bucket.
Really enjoyable.
Truly brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, a perfect technique for how, because all I had thought was, this guy is on a horse and he's got a bucket and his head's in the bucket and that's what you got to get. I hadn't put any thought into how you're going to get the head. I was like, he's gonna hurt you the whole time that you're trying to get the head. What are you going to do about it? So diving in the bucket as a bird.
Get the head first.
Beautiful work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a really good use of the things that Brier brings to the table. Like it felt like you were able to use a lot of those different like animal forms to be able to do the things you needed to do.
In the first go, in Cold Snap, when it was big thing, it was mostly, and the ghouls, it was mostly a case of what big scary animal is going to be useful fighting ghouls. But with this game, it felt more like what smaller animal is going to be useful for doing stuff that's not necessarily fighting.
It's nice when like some elements of a fight, when it's not all just how do I deal harm to the thing. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
There's some tactical stuff to get sorted out before you can just wail on it.
And I think I've enjoyed experimenting, and that's kind of partly what Brier learned last time, where it wasn't about being a big thing. It was about like going to everyone like, hello, I'm a sneaky fae. Why am I trying to stand up? So this was turn stuff to gold, go to be a small animal, and trying
this plays to your strengths.
Yeah, definitely.
Be more fae.
Yes, if anyone feels goth enough, the spine whip is available.
Yeah.
If anybody wants that as
currently
their gear
in
now.
Mrs. McGrew's possession.
Yeah, it's under the desk.
Yeah, she'll
maybe
keep it
maybe
until
it
someone
can
claims
go in.
it.
I imagine that the Calistarius wing of the library has some glass cases with like a cabinet of
Oh,
curiosities.
totally. Some occult items. Add that to the catalogue, Cal. If I have a wish, it is that I had a moment earlier where I could have spent luck to turn a fail to a success, and I decided not to, assuming that I would fail again in the rest of the episode, and I did not, because when I spend luck, I get an extra bit of information about conspiracy.
Or you can decide that something is part of the conspiracy, even if it wasn't.
I can basically
before.
decide that it is, and then Matt has to figure out. So I was quite keen, because that was a wish I had in playtime, was like, I was a bit reluctant to use the luck because I was kind of nervous of it. And this time I was like, I'm definitely going to use luck if I fail, and then I still didn't. Didn't do it.
But you still you tied a load of stuff into wider conspiracies this time.
Yeah.
It gets bigger and bigger every time Renko's in it.
Yes, basically I'm like, here's all of some other stuff.
Because she's the only one who can figure things out.
Yeah, apparently so.
You can make those connections with the red string.
Yeah, that's it. God, you can imagine what state of her apartment. Oh boy.
Melody did some more smashing.
I love
the
it.
tension between Melodies wanting to be nice but being constantly put in these situations where she doesn't have much choice is interesting.
I think with the Outrider, it's slightly easier for this like undead thing that is doling out death sentences on beings because they are different. She's quite happy for that to cease to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she, she has a sledgehammer, so
she gotta use it.
Things are going to be messy. I'm glad I got to use the streak though.
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see next time Melody is in a mystery with any of the people who were in Bad Dog, because I feel like they didn't kill the monster; they kind of made a pet of it. And I can imagine Melody making friends with the bar guest out in the woods and like being quite pleased with those people for taking that approach. Is that fair?
Yeah, Melody wants to be a better human, doesn't she? And
Yeah.
it's like kindness and all of those. I just really love that. Like that's the mission that Melody has, and then all of her skills and strengths are sort of in opposition to that.
But like Melody's
it's so brilliant.
first act in that big confrontation was to protect Mrs.
Yeah,
Melody,
absolutely,
which is
absolutely,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
That's
not using
her thing.
violence because it's fun. No, it's really
Just
good.
gets the job done.
Yeah, I managed to do this entire mystery without using any of my gear.
Wow. That's pretty good going.
What other gear do you have?
I have a Watchman's flashlight, a butterfly knife, and a 9mm. So I do have a gun. I just choose not to use it as much as possible.
What is your is shooting tough? Is it, everything's just tough?
It
isn't
would be tough.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to hurt something, then it's kick some ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're shooting a chandelier down, it might be act under pressure.
Right.
In which case, I stand a slightly better chance, but it's not really in line with my ethos.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Always pleased to play, and it's it was really good to have to use something other than the axe for most of the episode.
Yeah,
Like, chop up
that was
the
quite
ghoul.
good.
Ah.
Like you'd had to bury it in the ground at the beginning, and then stuff immediately kicked off as soon as you'd managed to separate yourself from it.
And I was thinking, oh God, was it me being really sad over the axe that brought the headless dude who just splattered my friend with blood, and then he splattered me with the blood.
That was cruel. I think.
I thought it was brilliant. Like the frustration for Cam, you could just feel it all of the time where you're like, I haven't got my bloody axe.
Oh no, I mean the
blood
Brier
splattering.
Well, I
splattering.
did
so
fail.
good.
I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, it was a great side effect.
You didn't mean to do it that time.
That time,
Yeah, we definitely saw a more vindictive side of little Brier.
Yeah, Brier was pissed off, and I think Brier was also quite scared. He sort of lashed out like that. Brier's spent most of the time probably as a predator, the time as a prey animal doesn't really need to worry. So it was the first time they've actually experienced like the idea that they will be hunted, and they'll know very, very well what that's going to be like.
Yeah. And I feel like in Cold Snap, Brier's like motivation was to protect all of the things that they exist to protect, whereas this was much more selfish because it was like I need to protect my own being from being destroyed. So it like motivated you in a different way, which was really interesting.
Yeah,
it was great to see you do some mischief though.
Yeah, mischief's fun.
Yeah, just being a dick for the sake of it. So good.
I don't want to give too much away about the hunt because they're still waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Yes.
But just to say that, like, accepting the invitation and trying to join the hunt and do stuff from the inside would have been a legitimate path.
Yeah.
I would have been happy for you to do that. So that is one possible way that this could have gone.
Yeah.
But of course, like, I think it's very in character for everybody to have gone, well, the top priority is make sure our friends don't get hunted. And the quickest and simplest way to do that is to take on this monster rather than mess around with like internal hunt politics.
I was very worried as well that if Cameron had decided to join the hunt, I didn't know if there was some sort of like you
become the gestalt.
Like you can't help but hunt.
That's what I was thinking
there
as
wooldn't
well.
be the choice once you'd opted in.
Like I say, I'm not going to give too much away other than that I have written some custom moves for that.
Ooh,
for
exciting.
just in case that happens in the future.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a great like recurring problem because like it was I felt the pull as Renko to be like, this issue is not fully dealt with. This is only going to be an issue down the line. And it's like we've just kind of we've dealt with it for the interim, but there is going to come a point in the future where we have to deal with it again.
I thoroughly disliked Posh Elfman.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Yeah,
he can get right in the bin.
God, he got his hair pulled.
I think we knew even from the invitation that he was going to be an asshole, and then he really did meet our expectations.
I just want to hunt Woodfey and Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let me hunt the little creatures.
It's a tradition.
Yeah. Oh, you know that would be his argument if you pressed him.
Yeah.
But we've always done it this way.
But I haven't hunted in so long.
I didn't say, but I've actually left one of my hands.
Yes. Just in
she needs it for baking.
Yeah, she does.
But yeah,
that's a potential another answer to that experience question of like things we've learnt about the world is that there are other realms than this.
Yes,
we've met the Fae that live in the mortal realm in the forest, but there are other Fae who live in other realms.
Yeah.
What other realms may there be?
And can we get into them?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hit more monsters with an axe.
Now that you've still got it and it's magic.
You did a lot of axe work in Cold Snap, so it was good to take it away for a bit and see the guns get some play.
I quite like the little moment when the three ghouls came up to Ernie and I as we were talking, and it was sort of like straight into patterns, chuck in the thing, go up there, and that's sort of like familiar.
That was a nice touch.
We've practiced this 100 times.
Yeah.
No, the way you approached the ghouls throughout in all the situations was really good, because you could sense that you do just want to kill them.
Chop chop.
Yeah, the tension.
But the things that stopped you seemed like every single thing that stopped you seemed like that was absolutely the thing that would have stopped you at that moment. When it happened, I was like, I don't think anything else would have stopped. And it was always pretty much something to do with Ernie.
Yeah.
And you could feel the frustration of you being prevented, like that just building and building in Cam's rage for you just want this one result, and it's still being like it's still just tantalizingly close and yet not possible.
Cam without either Ginny or Gwyn to be his conscience.
Yeah, we're all kind of standing there being like, we don't know what to do about this. Like, whoa.
Yeah, especially like Renko, we established is kind of keeping Cam at arm's length anyway.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't be the person that's able to stop that happening.
Well, I had to make a big choice of being like, to stop him from doing something that might both harm himself and do pretty substantial damage to others. I have to put someone else in harm's way, which wouldn't really be a choice she would make willingly, but that probably accounts for why she would tip Ernie off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because just the relationship we established at the beginning was that you'd said, I'm going to keep an eye on him because I think he doesn't know what he's doing. So what does Renko believe now? What do you think is her opinion of having seen him now?
I think she understands just how dangerous Cam is, both to other people and to himself. So I think that's really what she's doing, is being like, she's tipping Ernie off, not to protect Ernie, but to stop Cam from murdering a human being and getting himself into a lifetime of hurt, right? Like, it's a thing he absolutely shouldn't do, even if Ernie kind of deserves it. It's affecting Cam's soul in a way that's really profound, and that's the thing you'd want to protect him from.
Yeah, and it's a very Renko way of doing it. Like, you can imagine Gwyn approaching the same issue by going to Cam and saying, we need to talk about this, you shouldn't kill human beings. Whereas Renko approaches the project in an oblique way, in an oblique way, by tipping off Ernie so the target is removed.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also because she is aware of the fact that her and Cam do not have the relationship for her to be he doesn't trust Renko enough for her to be able to be like, I'm telling you this isn't a good idea and therefore you shouldn't do it. 'Cause Cam's going to be like, you can't tell me nothing, I'm going to go and do what I want.
I felt precisely the same.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no point in me trying to persuade him. This fight is his own with the ghoul, and and with Ernie, he's not gonna listen to me.
I knew the only way I could persuade him out of it was just by giving him another incentive, like something else to distract him with, rather than. So that was the only, that's the only option. Whereas, I feel like with Ginny or Gwyn, you have the opportunity for somebody who can essentially talk some sense into him.
Be a bit grandmotherly.
Yeah. Which is that's what Cam needs, because he hasn't had that.
That's it.
That role modelling is really important. Yeah, it was really great to see it play out like that, and it felt very true to all of the characters to act in those ways.
And it is a mark of how in character you get, Chris, that when I give you those hard choices,
you're like
success. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. This is not a visual medium, but you can really see him struggling.
It was not good. Yeah. When Ernie told Cameron that was the ghoul, I literally didn't know what to say. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was excellent as well, because I think the expectation would be that there was some bigger, more, I don't know, but it was just there.
Yeah, it was just there the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all.
And I think it works well because you can see a world where Cam's like, that can't be the one. This one's tatty and rubbish, and it's annoying that it's not some kind of like
So in my head,
bigger presence.
when Ernie shot it, I did actually think, that ghoul didn't die.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Matthew. I was sort of already sort of thinking, I haven't sent a puff of smoke.
So it didn't name itself on air, but I'm referring to it as the Stranger.
Oh, nice.
Because it sort of plays on that anonymity and that it can kind of morph itself to be whatever it needs to be frightening.
Ugh.
Sort of represents that, like, in the same way that all ghouls represent an irrational fear, it represents the irrational fear of stranger danger. Almost.
Right.
It was born. We decided in the Backstage episode it was born from a childhood fear of Cam's.
Yeah.
And so it has taken that as its personality. It is stranger danger personified.
So why the tatty clothes?
Because it's not just smoke and shadow, it's got bits of rock chippings in it that keep destroying its wrappings.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it needs extra layers to stay intact.
Otherwise it's sort of,
So it's more physical than...
It's got bits of rock in it. Stupid rock.
Yeah.
Wasn't a magic rock at the time. Oh, God.
And it called you father.
Yeah, it did. I don't see myself as its father figure. But it could.
You did sort of create it.
Well, not by choice.
No, that is true.
And I'm sure it's half and half that it kind of sees itself that way, and also it knows that is a way to push Cameron's buttons.
Oh,
to
totally,
be like, don't kill your family.
Yeah. Oh, Cameron's buttons are so on the surface.
Oh, yeah.
And so pushable. Yeah, it's great. It was really great to see the character play out like that. It was fantastic.
It was cool.
And maybe it's a little cheap the way it got taken away, but we couldn't have it just be taken out in the epilogue.
No, absolutely. I did quite like just saying to the elf man, shut the fuck up. No time for you,
Do
elf.
not test me.
Beautiful moment.
And you kind of know where it is now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I had to get into fairyland.
Yeah.
Luckily I know a fairy.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see in like a future mystery if it's got nothing to do with the ghoul. If Cam is involved, he's still like, I'm really just pursuing this avenue because I know where it is and I need to get to it. So it's difficult to get him to engage with anything else.
You're going to be taking people on a trip to fairy, aren't you?
Yes, I think
Should have gone harder, guys. I know a really nice place.
The food's great, but don't touch it.
Yeah.
Not if Gwyn can talk you out of it.
True. Well, it's up to her to persuade the old idiot.
Young idiot.
Young idiot.
This is what we like, is leaving lots of juicy things that can be picked up in future productions. Great. Let's call it there, shall we?
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you from Backstage for this production, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been Vigil, a main house production from Merely Roleplayers. It stars Helen Stratton as Melody, Chris Starkey as Cameron Jarvis, Vicky as Renko, and Strat as Brier. Sound design for this production is by Helen Stratton, and the theme music is by Alexander Pankhurst. I'm Matt Boothman, and I play the supporting cast, as well as editing and producing the episode. We were playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat Productions. You can find Monster of the Week at genericgames.co.nz. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, play on.